Chapter 17. We're almost through this. But if I thought I was mad at the last chapter, this is just... Ugh. Look, man. Before I go into the overview of what this is about, before I start talking about what actually happened in this chapter, I just want you to know that I tried. I was angry, but I tried my damnedest to be respectful, even if a lot of people think you don't deserve it. Okay? Remember that. Put a fucking pin in that. Alright? So chapter 17 is Davis's funeral. We have an entire funeral scene where they all have to get together and remember every aspect of this very unfortunate death. And this is a difficult one. It's not difficult because of the funeral, and it's not difficult because of specific personal reasons to me. Though I do have many specific unhappy things that I could say right about here. It's difficult because of what is actually said. So during this funeral, there is a part during the eulogy where Davis's mom starts talking about him, and it starts off as one would expect. Lots of, my son was wonderful, I love him, I miss him, the things that you would expect. And then we take a rather sudden shift. A rather, jarring shift. Where the second half of her speech is essentially talking about how wonderful James is. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of how Davis looked up to him and thought he was so great and all this other stuff. And now that the mother knows James more specifically, which is odd since they supposedly have been friends for years and yet he's never met his mom. But we'll look past that because why bring logic into it now? She starts talking about how now she sees it too, and that he is wonderful, and that he's so kind and selfless and amazing, and Abby has to constantly remind him of how much she loves him, and really, dude, at the funeral? Really? Look, man, like I said, I tried to be nice. I really did. I thought killing off a character to showcase how wonderful you think that your self-insert character is, especially since you went on the defensive and saying how, this was a real person and how that's awful that people would, say things to insult this character, I guess is the way you wanted it put, or the way that you had it put. But that's not even acknowledging this chapter. As I said in the last video, there's a lot of defensiveness from Onision about whether or not someone can even talk about this character, because it was based off of an actual person he knew who passed away. And I did my best, and still am, trying to be respectful of someone who is no longer with us. Okay? I don't know this guy, but at the same time, I feel absolutely no reason to insult his memory or his person. This isn't about him. This is about the book you wrote. Okay? That being said, if the entire purpose of this character is to immortalize the concept of your friend, of what he was, and to make sure that people know who he was. One, you hardly had him in anything. So nobody's going to know that. All I know is that he made jokes that are very time-specific. So it's very much 2006. And two, you didn't just make his death about creating a specialized thing for your, high school alternate universe fan fiction couple to be, all into each other. You made his funeral about that, too. Early on in this story, I mentioned that there would be parts where we'll probably start to see the crack in the, overall glass of this story. To see what actually lies beneath. To see glimpses of the author himself. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Because it's not a glorification for no reason. It's a glorification of himself in order to feed ego. There is so much of that. And this is just so... this is just beyond levels of not okay. This is really just kind of gross at this point. I didn't like that you had to do that with how he died. But to have an entire funeral scene where people talk about how great they think your self-insert is just... that's next level, dude. That's just... I don't even know. I don't even know how to properly address that. I talk for a living. I talk about stupid shit and make comparisons and say things that people find funny for a living, and I don't know what the fuck to say about this. This is unacceptable. And yet it exists. This is horrifying, but it has been out since 2015, if memory serves, and at this point my brain is melting, so it may not. I thought we had gotten past all the worst parts. And honestly, I'd kind of forgotten, for a bit, short while, that he did something like this. That there would be a point in time in which this whole scene would happen. These scenes, rather. More than one, because we're on 2 of these videos now. And yet somehow this is the worst. This is the part that's actually got me angry. This is the part that's actually got me kind of really pissed off. There have been some horrible things. Granted, there have been horrible things, but they were immediately overshadowed by incredibly stupid things, so while they're still horrible, they're usually sandwiched between dumb things that I can kind of... okay, I don't accept them. They're still pretty fucking horrible, but it definitely takes the edge off. But it's really fucking hard to take the edge off of this. It's really fucking hard to ignore what you've created here. It is monumentally difficult to pretend that this shit didn't happen. Because it did. Oh God, did it ever. I don't understand what could possibly be going through your mind to create something like this. To have a literal funeral scene for a character whom you've claimed on several occasions that you love, respect, and care for, and turn that entire thing into an ego-driven blowjob for yourself. I don't... how? Why? What could have possibly gone through your mind to make you think this was okay? That this is somehow acceptable? And you have the audacity to be mad at people for trashing this book when you put stuff like this in there? You literally can't see what's wrong with this? I am forever trapped in the belly of this nightmare that we have called Stones to Abbigale. It has swallowed me entirely into its horrible, horrible dimensions. Sometimes things cause me to scream with laughter. Sometimes things cause me to scream with horror. But these voices, these emanations that I feel are absolutely necessary to make, are never heard. Onision has created an absolute nightmare, and I know that this is only the upper echelons of how horrible these things can go. I've heard the reviews of others, and believe me, even as someone who reads terrible fanfiction and neckbeard stories, they get so much worse the further we go down. I am forever scarred by this event. I have no mouth, and yet I must scream. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, because it's kind of making me insane. I love you all, and please take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.